It's al-Orq time! And welcome back to Crusader Kings III. My name is al-Orq, and of course I'll be your host as always. So, in the last episode I originally planned on going out west towards the Abbasids, but then we saw that there was a plague here in the area where you see Hamadan and Zaidid. And so we instead ended up dipping our toes a little bit, not too much, but a little bit into the Indian subcontinent. And so we were able to do some tasks, some contracts, make a little bit of money, and a lot of crazy stuff has happened. I mean, I cannot believe how many events I had to read last episode. Hopefully, it's not quite that crazy this time around, but we'll see. So before we go, I do want to do a couple things here, and I'm going to interact with our two contractors here to get some stuff out of them. First, I'm going to grab some provisions from Morteza here, because he doesn't have any money to give me, and I don't really have anything else that I need from him. So that tops up our provision stack all the way up to the top, and then from what's this guy's name? Abdul? Yeah, Abdul Qayyum. I'm going to grab gold from him. And there we go, we made a little extra gold, and this guy hates us, he thinks we were a criminal. He has every right to arrest us, because we have committed a crime in his territory, and as a result, we are gonna get the hell out. I've already decided where we're going to go, and where is it? Lar. The Sheikhdom of Lar, and the reason being, this is a location where we can get 150 martial experience, and there's an 80% chance that we get an additional 150, which I actually should point out. I didn't realize that when we did the one intrigue contract last episode that we just ended up passing right through Aurora, and so I ended up getting the experience there, which is how I ended up getting that extra martial perk. So yeah, I didn't notice that the first time around, but now that I've seen that before, seen that once, I'll be able to anticipate it this time. Okay. So, to get from where we are to Lar, it's going to take nearly 1,600 provisions, so, you know, the majority of what we have. But what I will do is alter our specific route through there, especially since we've got two exceptionally dangerous provinces here, with Tees and Josk. Josk, this county does not like us, and so we would probably get, you know, assaulted, we'd probably get accosted, whatever the case. And then Tees here, it looks like it's just because it's has to do with the desert, and also the guy doesn't like us very much. So, and then here, we're probably going to encounter some an event passing through, just because it looks like this area is a little war-torn, and they also, like the others, do not like us. But what I will do, I'm going to add a destination here. That way we can circumvent this tile, and then I'll add another one right there. So we do still have this desert tile here where we could encounter something, but well, actually, I suppose I could just, yeah, do that. And there we go. Now it's no longer an issue. Okay, and these ones we just unfortunately can't really avoid. There's some impassable terrain just to the north that prevents us from doing that. But this minimizes our overall risk, and I think is the best choice overall. So we'll go ahead and start moving, and I'll just kind of skip through here. Plenty in common. Alright, so this is just another event saying that looks like Naveed and Kurushe are getting along. Good for them. They're friends, in fact. Alright, and this event we have not seen. Eyes in the Night. Morning brings a report that a man-eating beast has struck again. Another follower that should say butchered. Wow, just typos are going crazy. Most of the man's corpse found next to my pavilion where the large animal left him. The sentries can't get a look at the damn thing. Whatever it is, it's got a taste for us, and it seems smart enough to follow us during the day or early evening. I cast my eyes to the dune sea surrounding us. It looks so open, but a crafty nighttime terror can swim through it as easily as a shark through the waves. Watching, waiting, hunger slowly building for its evening meal. Is this Gollum?
Is it my precious? Oh, we hate it. We hate filthy orcs.
Oh, that was not my best Gollum, but I did what I could there. All right, he hates the filthy orcs, which makes perfect sense. So we can say Titan the Watch. It's an 88% chance to succeed, and we would get 75 prestige. Everyone except for Jagdeva would get 20 opinion of us. Or 11% chance that Firduz and Vahab die. That could be interesting. This county has man-eating monster control decline and plus 20 to danger. Interesting. So I could choose to pursue it personally, risking potential death in exchange for prestige. We lose stress because of our hunter and brave traits, and depending on what it is and how large it actually is, this might be fairly easy or very, very hard, and you cannot back down once you set out. Well, we are never going to back down from a proper fight. So let's have a look here. It's a leopard. We can't afford to wait another night to outrun the thing. Gathering my hunting party, I intend to end this, and to do so this very morning. The beast's tracks are barely perceptible, though they seem to be feline. After nearly an hour, we reach the base of a tall dune where the footprints simply seem to vanish. A loud growl from behind prompts me to spin on my heel, where a rabid, large leopard, face and paws still drenched in blood, awaits. The creature, its trap spun, breaks into a sprint. Alright, so, let's see here. Circle around it and surround it. That would mean everyone around us gets involved. 400 prestige that we would gain out of a 71% chance of success. 29% chance that I would either get wounded, and I assume down here it means I'd potentially get severely wounded. 40% chance I die. Or I just take him on myself, which is far more likely to succeed. And that's what we're going to go with. Have at thee, beast! And the beast falls to your numbers. Wonderful. And that also means that we have gained our next level of fame. We're now distinguished. So what that means is we have just kind of +5 opinion of people who are not particularly religious, I guess, and an additional knight, which is nice. And just in time for yet another martial perk. This time we're getting Never Back Down. The only thing that really helps us here is the additional trade experience gain for Hastaluder. But that +5 advantage and -20% of friendly fatal casualties, that's going to be super nice once we start fighting. A lesson in charity. Oh goodness, Sri Purusha, I think, brought my ward Jagdeva to the market today. Jagdeva was to hand out alms to the poor and needy, to learn about charity and a ruler's plight to the less fortunate. Well, what do we care? We're the orcs. We're gonna take all that we want, but okay, whatever. He's got this thing. He isn't particularly bright, as we know. He refused to give a single coin to anyone. Ah, there we go. That's how we know we taught him well. Sri Purusha exclaims, everyone we met were either undeserving or beneath him. In the end, he kept the gold. Jagdeva seems to have developed an egotistical streak. So this is his first personality trait. And so he automatically gained arrogant. We could also make him generous. We're not going to do that. Could also make him fickle, which could be interesting, but I don't know if that necessarily is necessary. We don't have anyone that's arrogant, at least no one that's super close to us. Might have to double check that to make sure. But I think Jagdeva's gonna stay arrogant. And let me see. Okay, cool. So he's got that 5 prowess there. Tomb Raiders. Turning a bend on the path, we come across a group of people covered in dust, emerging from what must have once been an impressive tomb. They hoist burlap sacks that jingle and jangle, jingle jangle, weighed down by the trinkets they have dug out of the ancient building. Times are hard, dear boss. Our families must be fed, and we are not doing harm to anyone among the living. Their leader looks up at us with some trepidation. She clearly realizes this does not look good for them. I saw her name was Noor. For a second, I read that as noob, which was I would have laughed. So you could say there is no future for those who disregard the past. We could punish the destitute for 10 years, so that's +5% of control growth, -10 general popular opinion. Okay, that does not apply to us. And yeah, courtly and zealot vassals, that does not really apply to us at all. Nor does the control growth. Yeah, let's imprison her. I think that's fun. There we go. We have our first prisoner here. Oh, and we have another event. So here, let's take care of this event first, and then I'll take a look at Noor. Won't be missed. As we continue through Shahru, My eye catches an elaborately decorated tomb amidst a network of common graves. The tomb appears to be cracked open, and just within its mouth I see the glimmer of some unknown treasure. None but my party appear to be around, and surely whomever once owned the contents of this tomb would not cast judgment on me for taking what would otherwise go unused. I'm sure no one would notice, and we gain an additional 50 gold, just like that. And we've made it to our destination. So, first things first, let's take a look at the holding itself and see, now that we've got a little bit of change, see who we might recruit. We've got someone here with really good intrigue and it has the loyal trait. There's also a gallows bait with almost level 4, halfway to level 4 at a bandit. That's kind of cool. Deceitful, paranoid, and calm. How much would she be? 60 gold? Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty cheap, all things considered. I could also just pay her money to train me in the bandit skill. How much do we have? Let me see. Bandit. Oh, that's right. That's the one that we've progressed the most in at this point. So that would probably bump us up at least 2 levels, maybe even 3, depending. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. 37 gold. I think that's a little bit more helpful to us personally. So what does that bring us now? Oh my gosh. Yeah, 3 levels and almost to the 4th one. We only need 2 more experience to max that out. So what do we get from that? So 0.01 prestige per dread per month. So that's actually kind of nice because we definitely tend to focus on getting dread. What else? Sorry, let me just take a look. So general opinion. Yeah, okay, so none of that's important. Cool. I'll take it. Alright. That story has a few good points. We could increase our diplomacy. Don't really care too much. Let's just go ahead and get a little bit of experience in wit. Alright. Anyone who we might recruit. Who's Ferox here? The Ferox Enclave. He is a terrible fighter. He's lazy, a craven, and temperate, amateurish plotter, and somehow a wise man. Now this is much better. Hosen here. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. He's a giant, logistician, a hunter, just like us. Also a level 2 venator. That's cool. A tough soldier. Yeah, so he's not a great commander. He's a little gluttonous. He's callous and brave. But yeah, that fighting skill, that is absolutely worth investing in. Welcome to the crew, Hosen. Welcome, welcome. I love it. Alright, let's take a look at the supply situation here. So we do not have enough gold to fill up our supplies. Instead... Ooh, 95% chance to gain 826 provisions. Vahab successfully steals a bunch of supplies. Alright, Vahab, well done. You finally did something right for him once. Alright, maybe I won't kill you after all. We'll see. Okay. I think that's all we really have to do here. And right off the bat, we've got a contract, a criminal one, to ambush some travelers. Oh, wait, hang on. Nope, I said I was going to take a look at our prisoner. So, Noor... Right now she's in poor health because she is in the dungeon, although what dungeon she's in is unknown to me, personally. So, yeah, we don't even have, like, a proper prison other than maybe a spare, shitty tent that we might have lying around. But Noor, yeah, let's take a look. So, 18 intrigue, that's not too bad, honestly. Let's go ahead and we're going to get the weak hook on her and we'll recruit her. That way, you know, she will probably hate us for a little while, but... I honestly don't super care. And let's get her set up. Well, we could marry her, right? We could. There's no reason why not. Although she is 33, she's 10 years older than us. How likely would she be to have a child with us? Let's have a look, shall we? With ourselves. Medium chance for children. This would not result in an alliance, of course, because she is not of a noble house. And she would gain 400 prestige, I guess. Cool. Apparently that's how much our house is worth at this point. You know what? Let's do it, just because we don't have a wife at this point, and we really need to start cranking out some children. If we find other characters, then we will absolutely marry them, because as a Muslim here in medieval times, we can marry multiple spouses, and that is something we will look to explore in the future. So let's go ahead and do this contract here. This... the amount of gold you earn from this really just depends on how many events spawn. So we'll just go ahead and travel as a small group. We don't need to bring the whole camp with us. Alright, the Wandering Knight. As we walk through the streets of Darabjerd, there it is, There's a loud ruckus by one of the market stalls with two men yelling at one another. Before we can make our way there, a man has already stepped in between and talked them down. See? It will be fine, he tells the man in the stall with a smile, and hands him a coin. And with that simple act of kind generosity, everything returns to normalcy. He turns to us as we approach. No banner or mark telling me of any liege lord. Perhaps a wandering knight? So, we've got Erdogan Buyid. So he's actually of a noble house and a well-known one, it looks... Or actually, no. Obscure. Never mind. That's what that border means. He isn't particularly great. He's got the organizer trait, which I always like, but only 10 in martial, 13 in prowess is okay, so he'd be a decent knight, if nothing else. And he's got a decent diplomacy skill there. He's brave, humble, and stubborn. So, we'll see if... Let's see. What are our options? 25 gold to recruit him. We could offer him a drink instead, and we could either gain diplomacy by 1, 50 piety, or 75 prestige. Well, let's take a look at our complement of knights before I make a decision here. We don't have all of our full retinue filled out yet, so there's no real harm in doing so, and we're about to make some money. So yeah, why not? Welcome aboard, Erdogan. Alright, there we go. So this is the first event for the actual thing. And so we're just probably going to do the option here that's with the prowess challenge, because it will most likely give us the biggest chance of success. So we're going to charge these fools, but I will read this first one. Also, we have 2 events popped up at the same time. Good God. Preying on travelers, Wali Behrang. Shortly after dawn, a small gaggle of travelers appear on the horizon. At their front is Wali Behrang, at least according to my scouts, leading the rest along their winding way. With the Wali at their head, the group obviously have some wealth, but are not exactly overflowing with coin. Still, a worthwhile quarry, should we be so inclined. And we are inclined indeed. That's 50 gold, just like that, so we just made back what we spent recruiting, what was his name? Oops, I already forgot it. A Pilgrim's Tale. As we walk through the mosque in Fustujan, I overhear a group of travelers talking quietly to one another. One of them, a man, starts describing and comparing the church with his journey to Baghdad. I can't help but listen in on the conversation as he continues to going into detail about the fantastic things he saw in Baghdad. Looking around, I can only imagine how much better it must be than the dainty sight I see here. So I can say, tell me about Baghdad. I would lose 5 gold, but traveling there in a pilgrimage would give me piety and stress loss, which is... Excuse me, I'm going to cut that out. Ooh, randomly got a cough there. What is this? Next destination, 9,125 years? There's no way that can be right. Not entirely sure what that means there. I don't know about a pilgrimage, because here's the thing, I was already planning on traveling to Baghdad. But, yeah, we'll just take the stress loss, whatever. Goodness gracious. As we trek through Fustujan, our caravan has stopped at a clearing bordered by spiny scrub. I proceed toward the commotion, only to find Erdogan, oh, that's right, that's what it was, and Firdus having an irate row. Buck up, you sniveling little fool, and fight me! Show me your worth! A craven like you has no right being on this journey! Erdogan spits at the ground. Firdus merely cowers in fear, weeping silently to himself. Well, that's not very surprising, considering his traits there. You know, let's see what happens. So, surely we could, surely you two can make amends. 50% chance that we might mediate between the two of them, gain some prestige. Not going to do that, no. We're gonna, wait, so yeah, hang on a second. Prowess challenge. Oh, that's right, yeah, Firdus is a more talented fighter, so he is more likely to win here. Yeah, you know what? Firdus wins. If he wins, then, I think he's gonna show almost said Aragon. He's gonna show Erdogan here, what this camp is all about. And no, Erdogan wins. Okay, fair enough. That's that's the second time we've seen the underdog come through victorious. That's pretty awesome. All right, what is this? The law in Darabjerd. The ambush strikes almost as soon as I have cause to enter the wilderness. Swarms of Kurds fighters boil out of prepared hiding spots and beeline straight for me and my small group of retainers. Just thought the way that was phrased was a little weird. They're well-armed and armored, too much so for an opportunistic attack. A militia, then? Or perhaps household troops come to cut me down for my crimes. A giant of a man leads the charge, bellowing his challenge to me at the top of his mighty lungs. Death! Death or glory! Alright, sound the horn. What do we do here? So I could just easily counterattack, and I have that option because of my martial skill, and I just straight up kill him, gain 150 prestige. I could duel him to the death, which I think sounds more fun. We've not seen a duel yet, and so I think that's what we're going to do. Alright, our first single combat, guys. This is exciting. Alright, this is shaping up to be a very, very fun-filled and eventful episode. So, we've got Darius, or Dariush, to fight. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. He is Kurdish, which is cool. I like seeing Kurdish characters every now and again, or like because they pop up every now and again is what I'm trying to say. So, here, let me read the text first, and then I'll explain how this works. Dariush and I stalk round each other, each weighing our options. He hefts a fearsome sword, while I grip my own hammer tightly. The deadly weapon feels cool and weighty in my grasp. Only one of us is walking away from here today, and I intend it to be me. We are far more likely to win, because we more than double his prowess, but hopefully we don't suffer the same fate as the last couple times we've seen something like this occur. So we've got 3 options here, and they will all change and depend on your personal traits as well as just kind of some of them will just pop up over and over again. And the way you want to do this is I typically pick the options that increase my likelihood of success and minimize my risk of injury. Because we have the hunter trait, so I'm really glad we did this last episode, actually. We have the option to say, Fool, take this. It's a feint and stab. So feinting left with your hammer, you stab right with an offhand dagger, and we, for 5 years, would gain knife to hand, which increases our intrigue by 4. That's cool. And so that's a high increase to our likelihood of success, medium increase to our risk of injury. I think we take it. I think it definitely is the best option there. Alright, so now, my hammer makes a rapid thump one way, only for me to draw a fresh dagger with my offhand, and lunge at Dariush as he attempts to parry. Dariush cracks his neck, and then starts raining blows against my guard, a marathon of powerful cleaves that almost break me with their relentless ferocity. My form is good, with only small errors, and Dariush's stance is passable. We are evenly matched, with victory balancing on a knife edge. So I can say, better men than you have died trying to break my guard. This wouldn't increase things too much. So he also picked an option that increased his likelihood, his chance of success, as we did. So I'm glad we went with that. I think we go with the options here that do not cause stress to us, and we go for this option here that says, an opening! Try my steel, cur! And we win! Dariush is dead. I surge towards my opponent's heart, almost ending this with one blow. Dariush maintains a decent guard, but not an impenetrable one. It takes work, but eventually I'm able to deliver a crushing thwack that tears through his inner thigh, ripping through an artery. Ooh, yikes. Bleeding to death? That's a horrible way to go. Fueled by adrenaline, Dariush fights on for 20 to 30 seconds before the blood loss starts to set in. He doesn't see what's happened at first and looks down to find himself increasingly soaked in his own gore. Disbelief gives way to drowsiness, and my opponent topples unceremoniously to the ground. Dispatching him is quick and painless. Awesome. So, the Lawn Darabjerd, victorious duel. As Dariush's battered corpse crumples to the ground, a cry of dismay goes up from his troops. With their commander dead, the locals' morale utterly shatters, and they break into a messy retreat with my soldiers hot on their heels. Good God. Paradox needs an editor. I swear. They should hire me. I glance down at the body. Death or glory, indeed. 250 prestige for that. So, already making decent progress towards the next level of fame here, so that's 420 points, awesome, out of 3,000. So, quite a ways to go at this point, but it will happen. Alright, I don't feel the need to read all of these events, and here's our first repeat, I think, or at least one of the first. We've seen this event before. We're going to interrogate Vahab yet again, and we found nothing, and we lost some of the prestige that we just gained. That's unfortunate, but hey, it felt worth it telling Vahab telling him what to do. Alright, and that's another 50 gold. More people holding grudges against us. That's fine. It's okay. We're gonna make our loop around and make our way back to where we were. Oh, that's it? Okay. So 50 gold for all of that, and we travel back to the start. Wow. Yet again, this event appears. Nary a drop. And this time, we found water, so hey, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Either way, Vahab gets antagonized, and that makes us happy. Alright, and that brings us up to 76.5 dread. Not bad. The seasons of change. As we prepare to set off in the morning, I see Noor standing outside the camp all alone. As I walk over to her, I notice a change in the wind. A refreshing autumn wind ripples through the camp, grabbing sand and dust from the ground. Summer is behind us. It is time to prepare for the cold of autumn and winter. So I could say it's about time for autumn again, huh? And Noor would gain 15 opinion of us, delaying our trip by 2 days. I think that's fine. We lose a little bit of stress there. I don't think we had any. But it improves our wife's opinion of us, and I think that's important. The higher the opinion, the more likely we are to have children. A quarrelsome lot. As we trek through Rawar, our caravan has stopped at a clearing bordered by scrawny palms. I proceed toward the commotion, only to find Yazid and Genra having an irate... Oh my gosh. Alright, so we've seen this earlier. I'll have no more of your idiocy, you worthless swine! Yazid stamps his foot in the scrub. You're the one who has whined on this entire journey, squealing, "Are we there yet?" At every crossroads, Genra retorts. Look at that, Genra's putting in some work here. Alright, we all know how this is resolved. And Genra wins. So Yazid, hey, he was put in his place. That'll teach you, man. Don't pick a fight where you know you're going to get fucked. Sticks in the wheel. Alright, yep, we've seen this event before as well. So yep, now you're starting to see these repeating. Alright, whatever, we're gonna be late. I just don't really care to be more intentional with my decisions there. That's what I was trying to say. A friendly clamor. Oh yeah, this one we've not seen. It's tough to describe what's so appealingly intimate about the low buzz of a camp settling in for the evening. Maybe it's the hunger for loot and plunder on every follower's face, the smell of the campfires just starting to be lit. I know I am a fan of that smell. Or the giggling and whispers of Yazid and Firduz passing by arm in arm on one of their regular walks. All of this forms a quiet, comforting blanket of familiarity. This is my domain, and these are my people. A small kingdom, but one where I know every sight, sound, and soul. So I could retreat to my tent and listen, gain back some prestige there. Could say perhaps a shave and a haircut increases attraction opinion, and we definitely could do that. Or we could say, I'll take my customary seat at the fire, and that would increase our diplomacy by 3 for 10 years. So that would bump it up to 13. Not bad, but I think we're gonna get a shave and a haircut. Make ourselves look a little spoofier. There we go. So that bumped Noor's opinion of us a little bit more, because she does find us slightly attractive. Alright, and that brings us here. So we have only a couple contracts in the area. We gotta have a boundary dispute that we can settle. First things first, I'm going to grab some supplies here, see what happens. Yeah, with my snares, I shall feed us all, but I'll read this first. Stepping outside my camp, I survey the surrounding mountains, seeking any sign of game or fodder. Scouring the scrub and slopes of Lar offers little encouragement. The place is devoid of anything worthy of our stomachs. Our best hope is to hunt. So I'm going to go ahead and hunt myself, and we got the best option there. Got 450 provisions back, and that brings us that much closer to full. Next up, we're going to go over here and settle this boundary dispute. These are usually pretty quick, just kind of instantaneous contracts, so they're worth doing. Fortified knowledge. The high altitude and brisk air of Darabjerd has a very refreshing quality as we traverse the local hill fort. The soldiers in the valley below appear to be practicing some rare type of training technique I haven't seen before. I move in closer, failing to restrain my curiosity. While doing so, I am approached by the local captain, Asan. Would you like to join in, my lord? And 80% chance that we gain the rough terrain expert. Yeah. Let's do it. No, Vahab is not going to do that. And we indeed got a new trait for our new commander trait. So now we're a cautious leader, which makes it less likely for us to take casualties, and we're an expert in rough terrain. Considering that there's a lot of hills and mountains that we're going to be facing, I mean that's a lot of what you see here. Look, we've got what are these? Yeah, desert mountains, desert mountains, lots of stuff that fits the bill with those bonuses. Maybe not as much as I thought, but, they're still there. Okay. Arbitration. Local landmark. The dispute in Bimand stems from a minor local legal case. Our employer foolishly ruled a particular natural landmark to have a slightly different boundary than was traditional. Immediately, dozens of cases were sprung by petty landholders and privileged peasantry, all of whom had some grievance or other now raised by the change in definition. Naib Faramars is at pains to let us know that our coin depends on calming the situation quickly and quietly. There's a stewardship challenge here. We could try ourselves. 39% chance of success. 60% chance that the discussions break down and it would not work out. I could... Let me see. I suspect accuracy matters less here than clarity. So this would guarantee the success. We would gain just the basic amount of money, 250 provisions, and a little bit of prestige. Yeah, if we can guarantee it, why not? Arbitration success. A little creative verbal legwork is all it takes to sow the seeds of doubt in the angry people of Bimand. Suggest that this was said instead of that one phrase truly meant another, set one or two against one another, and et voila. Everyone is too uncertain over who's right and what's even true to put up any kind of meaningful resistance. The matter isn't solved particularly, but the issue is diluted enough now for their rage to die back and their objections to dissipate. Faramars simply seems grateful that the whole debacle is over. Alright, yet another job done. The toils of war. As we walk through the streets of Darabjir, the procession of soldiers emerge from a side street. Most of them are injured and aided by downtrodden civilians. A herald proudly stands up in front of the throng of people gathering around the marketplace and declares with a loud voice, "We have crushed those Khazar dogs yet again! It is only a matter of time before victory is ours!" And yet, I can't help but snicker when I look at these fools who have ruined their lives. So we could donate some money, which would increase some cultural acceptance between Persians and Kurds, gain a little bit of piety. Probably not going to do that. Maybe they have some wisdom to share from their battles. 28% chance we insult them. 45% chance we would gain 300 martial experience. 14% chance we just straight up increase our martial by 1. And 10% chance that our prowess increases by 1. That's a pretty good one. That's what we're going to go with. And we get the martial experience, bringing us very, very close to our next perk. That's awesome. And Noor is pregnant. Mashallah, mashallah. All right, excellent. So in about 9 months or so, we will have our first child. Our first biological child, at least. Empty crates. I gaze down sadly at my meal. A barely ripe apple stands out as the most appealing of the fare. There is no shortage of food at camp, but the variety is lacking. Wilting vegetables we have plenty of, but I could really do with some prime meats. Truly, some roaring fires, some non-alcoholic halal beer, red meat off the bone. Faramez leaps to his feet, bow in hand, reaching for a quiver. I've had enough of this. These may be Sheikh Aziz's lands, but I'm sure he can spare the merest trimmings of their fat. So, we could say, go fast and go silently. We're not going to poach without permission. Or sorry, we are going to poach without permission. We're not going to tell Faramez no. Faramez has the right idea. Let's be real here. So we're going to go fast and go quietly. 72% chance of success. And we indeed gained everything we needed. So I think with that, let's quickly just go back to the market and castle and all that stuff. See if we can't recruit anybody. Hormuz is bad. Ekber is bad. You know what? Let's try some gambling. We haven't done that yet. And we win. Hey, we got 30 extra gold. That was definitely worth my time. And then we have Derzin here. She is a minx, apparently. She's not too great of a character, so never mind. On second thought, go away. We're not going to recruit a 70-year-old or a 64-year-old, but we might recruit... Ooh. She's disloyal. She's a righteous villain. So it doesn't seem like she would necessarily act against us if she liked us. that disloyal trait is a little concerning, but she's a wise woman. She's got excellent learning, and so she would make a really, really nice camp physician. So for 57 gold, absolutely. We haven't had anyone to fill that role yet, and so we're going to go ahead and assign her right away. She is our personal physician, and she has an aptitude of good. As time goes on, that will grow. She will get better and better at it. All right. So, I think, you know what? We're gonna keep Vahab as the. Do I keep him as the caravan master? I don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is that I will go ahead and swap out Naveed and Kurishe for Genra and Shahabuddin, because they are going to be a little bit better. We're going to just kind of swap around some roles, and now that we've gotten some more people, I think it's an appropriate time to do so. Firduz, he was my second for a while. Wait a second. Binar would make a good second. Interesting. Well, if she's my second, then she's going to be far less likely to act against me, right? Let's find out. Sorry, Virhus. Like I said, we're a meritocracy in this camp. And so, let me see the camp here. So we need 200 gold for the next pavilion upgrade, and that's going to be the next thing I grab before anything else, because that will allow us to expand the camp a little bit further. Okay. Yeah, we're about to leave and go over here to this fight corruption contract, and we're gonna end up in the Arabian Peninsula, very, very close to Baghdad. In fact, forgetting where it is actually. I feel a little silly. I apologize. I could be looking right at it and not have noticed. Oh, yep, I was. There it is. So there's Baghdad. So we're actually quite close to it, and we're going to spend a little bit of time in this part of the world, I think. So we've gotten supplies, we've gotten everything we need. Let's go ahead and set our new destination. Can I click on it, please? Thank you. Oh, maybe not. There is a lot of dangerous stuff here, because looks like... Oh, they're at war. They're defending against who? Ooh, the Khazaria. And... Yeah, they're at war with Khazaria. Are they just helping out, or what is this? Sponsored conquest of Kermanshah. So, the attackers here. Is it this guy? Is he going to get some territory? Ah, yeah. Okay, so is that what? So let me see. Is that what the war goal is? They enforce if he. Oh my gosh! If they enforce the demands, then. Oops! I did not mean to click on that. I was trying to see. Okay, let me see here. The beneficiary, Khatun Belet, will seize all territory within Caliph al-Muttaz's realm. Okay. Alright, so there could be some interesting stuff here. That they're about to lose that war, so the map might start exploding. So that probably means we shouldn't go there. Let me see, where are the, like, destinations? So instead, I think we go here to Shiraz Farsi and Istakar. Because we get the Traveler trait here, which is actually what I was hoping for. And then we have a learning location right next to us. What we're going to do is kind of snake around, kind of make our way westward to like the northwest, go this way, and then go towards Iraq. There's plenty of places for us to visit. And then I was going to probably snake back around in the other direction and visit all of these locations before. Ultimately kind of ending up right back where we started. That's, well, not quite, but... you know, close enough, I suppose. So that's kind of where I was thinking, and I think let's do it. Where was that again? No, not there. It was here. Shiraz Farsi. Not a very dangerous place to go, and it'll bring us closer to that contract as it stands, so I think it's better anyway. We get our next martial perk, which is nice. That gives us an additional 4 guards, and we gain more experience in the bow skill. Under that Hasta Looter trait, so that'll be nice. And we have also gained the Traveler trait. On its own, it gives +1 diplomacy, so that just bumps it up even more. At this point, I think with an average diplomacy, no one, like, dislikes you just on principle, because if you have a low diplomacy, people generally have a lower opinion of you, whereas it's the opposite in the opposite case. But yeah, we've gained a little bit of experience here in Wanderer. And we have the traveler trade at this point. This will continue to grow, and this will also affect our children as our children move with us in the camp. So that makes things really nice. Okay, so we lost that corruption job right there, but a bunch more just popped up. And I think, well, you know what? Since we were going to do a fight corruption job, let's go ahead and do this one here. Actually, that's a pretty decent amount of money that we could earn, so I think that's worth it. So since we've not done one of these, I'll read this out. Naib Arif of Sarwistan, Hossein's marshal, visits my encampment for the day. As soon as we are left alone, he begins muttering, "It is embarrassing to admit, but I need your help dealing with the disobedient peasants of Kumisha." The marshal huffs and glowers. Guy doesn't like us because we're a criminal, right? Yeah, the sadistic. He's calm versus us being wrathful. And yeah, most of that is the gallows bait. They flout their Isfahan Shah's authority. They organize themselves into militias, claiming they are terrorized by outlaws. The whole region is becoming one vast, insubordinate host. So, I will go ahead and deal with them. Yeah, we'll start traveling, and this should be pretty easy. Oh, follower gained a nickname. So Hosen is now known as the Lion. Hey, that makes sense. We'll have to get him set up with a wife at some point, because I want to see if we can pass down that giant trait to future generations of orcs. Alright, when we arrive at Kumisha, I am bound to round up the worst of the rabble-rousers and demand they explain themselves. Ardashir, a peasant of some reputation, speaks for the rest. "We fear for the safety of our children. It's Isfahan Shah's Hussein's duty to protect us, but he is only concerned with controlling us. If his fine swords won't be cutting down the blasted outlaws, my people will pledge their children's lives to their own scythes, flails, and arrows." So he is greedy, callous, and impatient. He's actually, well, he's got the brilliant strategist, but still doesn't have great stats at all. So silence your peasants, or silence your people, or die, peasants. Did that work? Did we gain some dread? It looks like we may have. Alright, when the clamorous ordeal of bending each peasant leader to my will is complete, we take once more to the road. Naib Arif of Sarwistan speaks of our next destination. "We shall go to Ardestan, for better or worse. The local mobs are of grave concern. They organize themselves into militias." Oh, okay, yep. That's all a repeat, so I don't need to say that again. Now, we definitely should change the route going here, because I don't want to pass through all of this. Least of all, that since I only have my small band of people with me. So, our destination, and let's go ahead and add this right here. And then, on our way back from Kumisha, can I change that? Here, can I do this slightly differently? Let's do that. And then, there we go. That's more like it. It's a little goofy. We're gonna go in like kind of a, kind of like a loopy pattern, but that's all right. Oh, and hey, we visited the Friday Mosque. So, this is a historical building, it looks like. The Friday Mosque, or the Jameh Mosque of Esfahan, was built during the Umayyad dynasty. It is said that the Caliph personally made one of the pillars in this mosque. Before becoming a mosque, it is said that it used to be a house of worship for Zoroastrians, so it's been around for a while. The person who owns this gets some really, really nice bonuses there. That, what was that, 20%, 25% extra tax? Where is it? Yeah, 20% extra tax, 25% development growth, 0.3 dev growth per month, and level of devotion impact plus 50% and plus 5 monthly renown. That is an awesome part of land to hold. That might be something to consider. And yes, indeed, the Abbasids did get a little weaker. Their army is severely reduced. Oh, it looks like... we had some succession issues here. So, Caliph al-Mu'taz is no longer in control, but he's in control of the Abbasids. So then what was this? What was I looking at just now? I don't know. I cannot remember. I'll have to take a look at that back in while editing. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue on with our stuff. Oh, looks like we're walking into a territory that's... Oh, no, sorry. I thought this territory was being besieged, but no, it's right next door. So, what's this conflict here? I'm just kind of curious. Oh gosh. So, war against the tyranny? Ah, so it's kind of like an uprising of this guy's vassals. And he's winning, so good for him, I suppose. Silence your people or die. Whoa. Wait a second, what happened? Why did Genra leave us? What? What? That doesn't make any sense. Again, I guess I'll have to take a look at that in the recording. Alright, nature will provide for us. We don't need to read through that. Alright, well, we apparently succeeded. Danger, this is fine. This is fine. Traveling through the sometimes harsh environments has invigorating effects on at least my state of mind and vigor. As I glance over at Nas, however, she does not appear to be doing it quite as good. Her movement is labored, her breathing heavy, and spontaneous bursts of coughing ripple through her body. Clearly, she is not well. So nothing specific, she's just ill. We can say Binar, sorry, can you treat her? And looks like we'll do that. Did she gain any experience in the physician trait? Oh, also we have to assign a new bodyguard. So, Erdogan, welcome aboard. Let me take a look here. So she does not have the physician trait yet, but she might have gained some experience as a mystic. Alright, my wagon wheel again. Whatever. Just tedious. Just tedious events. A quarrelsome lot. There's only one way to solve this. And Genra becomes wounded. So what is going on here? Why is... You know what? Yeah. Faramis wins, he gets wounded. Apparently he just immediately lost his wound right after he got it, but whatever. Okay, what's this? A faithful visitor. The campfire crackles, illuminating a figure entering our circle. He moves with vigor despite the lateness of the hour, hand wrapped around a walking stick. Those standing guard are already intercepting, but I wave them away. Do you have a place for a man of Allah? He smiles at me hopefully, dirty clothes rustling in the stiff breeze. A wandering imam. An imam, maybe, but not an imam of Ash'ari faith, that much I can tell. A few of my fellow believers shuffle their feet uncomfortably as they make the same realization. So, what's going on here is, so we are Ash'ari, and that is a Sunni faith, if I am not mistaken. Please correct me if I'm wrong here. But Iskander here is Ismaili, and they are Shia Muslims, and I am not I am not the person to give you a detailed explanation on the differences between the two, but just know that the Shia Muslims are, broadly speaking, a vast minority in the Muslim world. Most Muslims are Sunni, not Shia, and so that's why there's some couple key differences between the two belief systems there. So, if you want, I can explore those more after I'm able to do some research, and I'm not just talking off the cuff and potentially giving out incorrect information. He is a monk, which is kind of funny because there is no real like monasticism in the same way that we would consider like in Catholic monks and nuns and stuff. But whatever. All right. Anyway, what we could say is we could tell him to stay a night and tell us your stories, which would give us 15 experience in Wanderer. The Traveler, the Wanderer trait here, so from 7 up to 15, and we would need 50 to get level 1 in the trait there. So I think that's what we're going to do. I don't particularly care about the religious differences, and I don't think Faraz does either. He's not focused on faith, he's focused on making money. That's his primary concern in life. Alright, Blades for Hire. I've heard tell of the military exploits of the legendary Kurdish mercenaries, and passing through Abraj, I am fortuitous enough to come across a highly skilled mercenary commander. Aram claims that he is the finest Kurdish swordsman in the world and would be honored to serve for the right price. 15 gold to hire him, 51% chance that I could try to negotiate, pay only 5, or if it fails, then I would spend some prestige. 15 gold is just about nothing. For 19 prowess and 23 martial, that's fantastic. Although, I like Aram the Kurdish. Why not just call yourself the Kurd? I don't know. That seems a little silly to me, but whatever. You do you, man. And, mashallah, mashallah, our first child and our first newborn son and first heir of the entire series has been born to our wife Noor. Excellent. Well, let's take a look at him really quick. He doesn't have any particular traits, and so let's go ahead and give him a name. It defaulted to Mehrsad. Let's just kind of look around. Babak, that's kind of funny. I apologize. Ardahan, just let's see, Akbar. That wouldn't be a bad name. Marzuban, Kekos Rao. That's an interesting one. Marzuban, Hossein, Ehsan, Kambis, Pashan, Bahram. Oh, I could name him after Menusir, our old departed friend. Zia, interesting. There's Ali. You know what? Where was? Let me see. There was one that I was a really big fan of, and I forgot off the top of my head. So I'm just gonna quickly click through these until I see it. Oh, please. It's giving me every single one except the one that I saw. Um, uh, let's actually, I like Vahid. Let's do Vahid. I think that's good. So, Vahid al-Orq has finally been born, our child. We're immediately going to set ourselves as his ward, or as his ward, no, as his educator, his guardian. And there we go. Fantastic. Hopefully we have more children with Noor and potentially other spouses. Alright, so I think the last thing I'm going to do here in this episode is get this pavilion upgrade started. That will be done in 10 months, so yeah, I think this is a good place to stop. In the next episode, guys, we are going to make our way closer and closer to Baghdad, as it looks like the conflict is largely over, although we definitely have to adjust the path here. We're going to get to Des-e-Sia first, before we kind of snake our way around here. And yeah, I think that's going to be the next big plan, the next goal here, as the Abbasids are dealing with an Armenian apostolic uprising. Ooh, they're fighting for their independence. Good for them. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching it. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed it. I really appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to watch my videos. And with that, I will see you all next time. Have a great rest of your day.